Well, hey there, hobby homesteaders. Welcome back to Peek's Peak. My name's Lucas, and we're sharing our hobbies here on 38 acres in eastern Kentucky. And today, we're back in the Woodyard. We got lots to talk about. So I'm not gonna lie, we got a log on here that might be too long. It is right up against the blade. I hope I can get it started. It is down here where I think the blade will just barely come out the other end. And, well, you know how I told you guys I built my sawmill shed just a little bit too tight. I can fit back here, but I'm gonna have to stay on my diet or I won't if I have to do this very much. Nope, too tight. Made it. Woo-hoo. Now, I didn't build this slab table for 16 footers. I just got back from Expo in Louisville, and I got to meet the team of MechMax. That was a whole lot of fun. They were super excited to be in the US for the first time and getting to see the sights and getting to meet a lot of people. And I was really excited to get to meet a group that has been so supportive of our content and our channel. And honestly, they're making it possible for you guys to have this content to watch. We're really thankful for them. Now, as I already said, we've got lots to talk about, including this hat that I'm wearing. But I'm going to go ahead and spoil it right here in the beginning because I have not bought a TYM tractor. I did get to meet their team and a lot of the cool content creators that they do sponsor at the Expo, including Evan from Country View Acres, who has kind of been the one channel that I have really followed since the very beginning. I had a lot of great conversations. I got a lot of great advice on tractors. And I got to talk about, you know, the possibility of some type of partnerships or something down the road. But, you know, we're not a great big channel. We're probably not to that point yet. But we definitely want to be recognized for the attention that we bring to the companies that we showcase on the channel. So it's nice to get to have those conversations. Ultimately, we intend to purchase the tractor we're going to buy. And that's part of why I have been agonizing over this decision, because I really want to make sure that I make the right choice for my money. And just when I think I have it figured out, I learn a little something new that makes me think, well, maybe I need to wait just a minute and figure this out. But one of the best parts about going to that Expo is they have an outside demo yard where you can try out the equipment. And there was a TYM 2515 with a backhoe and dirt to dig in. And there was a Coyote CK 3520 SE, and it had a grapple on it. And they even had a log there that I could play with. Oh, goodness. So getting some seat time on the tractors that I'm considering was really valuable. It's one thing to kind of drive one in the parking lot of a dealership. It's an entirely different thing to get to actually do a little bit of digging and moving and, you know, using the grapple functions and the loader controls and get a feel for how comfortable and how quickly you can adapt to the new controls. Because let's face it, every one of these machines that I'm looking at works entirely differently from the Kubota. And while I haven't actually gotten a number from the Kubota dealer on the L series model that would fit into this equation, I'm afraid that it's going to be out of my price range. And I'm not going to lie, that's very disappointing to me, because when I went and operated that L, the first thing I said was, wow, it feels like home. Now, part of that really and truly is just a matter of familiarity with controls. Kubota, no question, has the smoothest hydraulic controls in the business. Not to mention, their hydraulics work really well at multiple functions at a time, even on their lower end tractors. Whereas I noticed with the Coyote that if I was trying to open the grapple, I couldn't move the tilt function. Now, they told me in the demo yard that that was a true third function, not a diverter. It could be a diverter, and maybe that's why, but I also couldn't get it to tilt the bucket and lower the arms at the same time. So using two functions at once, you really can't do very well at all. I think the same thing was true of the TYM, although I did feel like I operated it a little more comfortably. And a lot of things can factor into that, who knows. But overall, those hydraulic controls just aren't quite what Kubota has going there. That being said, I am the type of guy who has always had to make decisions based on overall costs, and I don't get to have everything I want. So it's kind of like when you go look at a Toyota Corolla and it's sufficient and it will do the job, and then you take a Corvette for a test drive. Well, obviously there are lots of things about the Corvette that I'm going to like a whole lot better, except paying for it. Now, the part of this conversation that I have to share with you guys in talking about all of this is just how amazing Davis Equipment has been to work with in owning this Kubota BX. There's no mistake. There's a huge value in that. They have been fantastic, and that really and truly is the number one reason why I'm struggling so much with my decision, because I really want to remain loyal to Davis Equipment, but at the same time, you have to think about your finances. And so there becomes a tipping point where I just can't spend another $4,000 to $6,000 because I like the guys. I mean, it just is what it is. But I also want to mention something else, and I'm sure the people that make these decisions will never see this video. But it frustrates me that Kubota at the corporate level doesn't see the value in what we're doing as content creators, and the needs of the local dealers for that level of exposure. Because the fact remains that if I wasn't selling Kubota tractors, the local dealer never would have noticed what I'm doing, and they never would have reached out to begin sponsoring us with things that help with our channel to begin with. And if I'm making a difference in sales at a local dealership, then nationally it has to be moving the needle. But the only thing I've ever gotten from Kubota corporate was the KTAC insurance people sent me a hat and a cooler when I made my video about the insurance. And hats and coolers don't pay the bills. So I guess I kind of just wanted to go on record and say that if I end up not buying a Kubota tractor, that definitely has nothing to do with my relationship with the guys locally, because Jason, Ed, Steve, Will, all the rest of the crew there at Davis Equipment, man, you guys are fantastic. You're taking good care of the community, taking good care of the customers, and you've got a great product. So I do appreciate everything you guys are doing. Now, this sounds like I've made my decision, and so I'm kind of preparing everybody for it. And really and truly, I haven't. I'm still saving money. I have enough money to purchase at least one of the selections, maybe two. I don't have enough money to purchase the Kubota. I have some other reservations about the Kubota in terms of lift capacity, and I'll be honest with you. If that Kubota L Series would lift 1,900, 2,000 pounds, something like that, I would spend the extra money and I would go buy it because of the relationship I have locally. But on top of the extra money that it's going to cost me to get that tractor, it's still advertised to lift half as much weight. I think it's capable of more, but I don't have one here to know that for sure. And I can't take that kind of gamble and also spend another $6,000 or $8,000. I'm really torn. try her in the middle. There we go. So here's the thing. I'm normally not this way about any decision. I mean, I decide to go buy a new car or new used car or whatever. I might do it on a whim. We bought this farm like spur of the moment. Just we're like, oh, that's a pretty good deal. We could remodel that house and move in and have some land. Let's do it. And we wanted to do it all our lives, but when it popped up and we saw it on the market, we had the decision made and we're under contract in a few days. I don't agonize over things, but there's a different level added to the mix here when I'm sharing everything that I do with all of you guys, because while I want to pick the best value and something that's going to hold up and do a good job, I want to pick a machine that's going to relate to the audience and they're going to care about me running it. I also want to pick a machine that if people see it on my channel and decide, oh, well, if it's doing a pretty good job for Lucas, I'll go buy one. I want it to be the real deal. So part of me has spent a lot more time investigating the companies than I ever would if I was going and just spending my own money on it. Because in some ways, I feel a little bit like I'm spending your money on it. I don't want to cause people to make the wrong decision. So I'm trying to put a little extra effort into that, as well as think about what's going to be best for growing my business. So I'm just kind of being wide open with you guys and telling you all about the process because I want you to understand the thoughts that are going through my head, because this is a little bit different than if you were just to sit down at your table and try to rank these tractors and pick the very best one. So I guess the moral of this story is that, you know, us YouTube content creators, we are resources and we try to share with you our experiences so you can watch the way we use the equipment that we have and see how that compares to how you're going to use it and help you to make your decisions. But definitely, you got to make your own decisions because we all have different variables and things that we're up against that are going to influence the way that we make those decisions. Some of us have buddies that are going to tease us and give us a hard time if we buy a different tractor than they think we should buy. But then again, those same buddies probably going to tease us and make fun of us even if we buy the tractor that they think that we ought to buy. So, yeah, you can't listen to them either. Might as well add you guys to the middle of the mess too, make it a little bit more difficult. All right, got this nice little beam here. What we got? 5 3/4, 5 3/4. So we got a 6x6, another oak 6x6, but I think this one's going to be 16 foot. "16 foot 2 inches, 16 foot and an inch at least." Wow, that's a dandy. Oh, I hear my buddy coming. Wonder if he brought Maple. I bet he did. Well, I don't know. Last time he had Maple in the side-by-side and she slid her butt over onto the accelerator and he ran the toolbox on the side-by-side into the side of my garage. I wasn't real happy about it. We kind of had a little "you're grounded" moment, and then he explained to me that, well, Maple did it, but I also explained to him that when you have a passenger, then you're responsible for that passenger and how it behaves. So it is what it is. So I'm betting that he doesn't have Maple with him. Hey, buddy.
I brought my dog.
You did bring your dog. We were up here placing bets. You know why? I said, I bet you didn't bring her. Why would you have not brought her? Do you remember? You're not going to say, are you? He remembers. Hi, Maple. What you got a shirt on for? You dressed for Halloween? Come here. Come here. Hey, girl.
Can't lay down.
Look at you. Look at you.
It matches perfectly.
It does. Where'd you get that, huh?
Walmart.
Yeah. Cute. What do you think I ought to get? Here's the real moment of truth.
TYM.
You do. Why do you think TYM?
It's the cheapest, or probably it's the cheapest, and it's the strongest.
It's the strongest and the cheapest. So that's close to true. Now, that some of the other brands are pretty competitive on the price. They're close. Lift capacity wise, yeah, like 200 pounds more than anybody else.
For that size.
Any other reasons?
Because we need it.
Because we need it? Yeah. I thought he was going to say because Daniel Arms has one.
Houston and stuff.
Yeah, he's a big fan of Houston. So guys, I came up here just to mill a log because I've got 4 or 5 more logs left, and I'm just making lumber for my equipment shed. And I had somebody comment when I explained that we were starting an outdoors channel. And if you weren't aware of that, be sure and subscribe. Peaks, Peak, Outdoors, and More, where me and Caden are going to be fishing and hunting.
I always say Peaks, Peak, Outdoors, and Moors.
Outdoors and Moors.
Outdoors and s'mores.
Outdoors with s'mores. But when I mentioned that channel, had somebody act like they were upset because, oh, another channel I would have to follow to see the videos. Like this was such a big deal. If you hit subscribe and then you're interested in the videos, well, they'll just pop up in your subscriber feed and you can watch them. And if you're not interested, then they'll quit showing up because you don't watch them. Oh, you pinched it? Yeah, it's easy to do, pinch yourself like that. But I'm definitely not out here to try to annoy anyone. But at the same time, you can't please everyone. And the only way for me to make this work with the way YouTube sorts the videos is to go about it this way. Now, not everybody's had to do that. You know, you've got channels like Daniel Arms that can do anything on his channel. And he gets tons of views and everybody loves it. And that's awesome. I wish we could do that. But it just doesn't work for us. So for it to be profitable and worthwhile for us to spend the time making these videos, this is how we have to go about it. So I appreciate all of you who have been supportive of that. We thank you. And for those that aren't interested, that's okay too. You have your own life to live and you have your own interests. So go after those interests. So I have a 6x6 that's 16 foot long, and I just cannot bring myself to cut this one into 2x6s because it's 16 foot. I'm thinking I can come up with a use for that. I might even be able to use it
for the tractor shed.
Yeah, on the tractor shed. I'll think about my design and how I'm going to do that. Well, guys, I'm going to get this 6x6 up. Do what?
That hurt.
Oh, pinching that. Yes, I pinched mine like that too. It does hurt. Well, guys, until next time, be sure and get outside and enjoy God's creation because it is beautiful out here. It's becoming fall. The leaves are starting to change colors and fall.
It's starting to get very cold in the mornings.
Yes. Windshield was iced over today, wasn't it? We appreciate y'all watching. Y'all have a good day.